What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike Dolce Show. I am Mike Dolce, your host, dedicated to bringing you the most honest, actionable, and evidence-based information that will dramatically improve your life. Today, we are talking about the optimal rep range, but there's a spin to this, which is going to help you no matter where you are, what you're doing. You'll remember this. It is the rule of 25 with regards to repetitions. Is that 25%? Is that 25 reps? Is that what does that mean? I'm going to tell you what that means here in a moment. Thank you for joining and for being a part of this channel. If you haven't, consider subscribing and maybe give the video a thumbs up. You know, if you enjoy what I'm talking about, I appreciate that for the algorithm, of course. Now, the rule of 25, what does that mean? When we are training with weights, we want to hit approximately 25 repetitions in total. Let me explain why. If we train, and we know this, let's wipe away the science for a minute and let's strictly go straight bro. Let's talk about what has been historically the most successful set and rep schemes for the strongest, biggest, largest, most powerful athletes out there. Those with the biggest bench presses and the heaviest squats, the most chiseled and rippling thighs and granity shoulders and pecs. Let's talk about those. Those individuals train in a few very specific rep ranges. The 4x6, 4 sets of 6 repetitions. That builds just Herculean bulk. The 3x8, 3x8 is getting more stored glucose out of those muscle cells, stored glucose, excuse me, out of those muscle cells. The 3x8, the 4x6, much more of the thicker, denser, harder muscle fiber. The 3x8, now we're getting a little bit more of the glycogen capacity. And then the 2x12, now we're really starting to push the endurance side, or the 1x25. Now, baby, this is all out lactic acid threshold bursting. These must all be trained. Now, the 4x6, right? The 4x6, but let's take this even further. So we have the 4x6, we have the 3x8, we have the 2x12, we have the 1x25, but we can also go the other way and we can do the 8x3, 8 sets of 3 repetitions. Now, not with heavy weight, with extremely lightweight, trained extremely fast. Now we're really starting to focus on the velocity curve of that barbell, of the speed. Bar speed is something that's very important also. So we'll even go back further and we'll say the 8x3, 8 sets of 3 very fast repetitions with approximately 30 to 60% of your 1RM. Now I'm going to tell you percentages here before we close the video and walk away. I'm going to give you everything you need to know to literally have a 3-year training program of these set and rep schemes with these specific percentages of 1RMs. So if we train 8 sets of 3 repetitions, extremely fast, focused on bar speed, we should be training around 30 to 60% of our 1 rep max. If we're training now the 4x6, this is about as heavy as we're going to go safely. And if you are an advanced athlete, then maybe you'll start training below the 6 rep scheme, but it's not necessary. That's more for those who are peaking out with true 1RMs. And I, as a coach, would say, and as a athlete and a lifelong trainee, I would say there's no need for that. There's really no true need to go heavy below 6 repetitions when in fact you can do your lower repetition at much higher speed with lower risk of injury. That is a bonus to this video. But the 4x6 should be somewhere close to that 90% range. High 80s, 87% to that 90% or so range. 4x6 though, that's, now you can bridge that. You can maybe we can bridge that at like 85% or so, 85%, 87.5%, 90%. Can you get 90 again, or maybe 92.5? And if you can, then it's time to scale up. That's fine. Now, when we go to the 3x8, we can push it a little bit lower. Maybe now we're starting in the 82 or so range, the 80 range, lower 80s, mid-low 80s, and then we get to the 2x12s. 2x12s, we're trying to get to about 80 or so. I believe in heavy weights. I believe in extremely heavy weights with perfect form. That's why I like slightly higher repetition schemes here, because it forces you to use slightly lighter weights for slightly more reps that you can usually control better, avoiding risk of injury. Once again, injury is the number one issue most people have, which is why you don't make better, greater progress. It's the avoidance of injury that really matters here while training in these very specific rep schemes. Now, we have the 8x3 at about 30 to 60% wide range. I'd say start at 30. Let's see how fast that bar can go. Then we have the 4x6 at about 90% or so. Then we have the 3x8 at about 85%. Then we have the 2x12 at about 80%. And then we have the 1x25. That's going to be at about 70% of your 1RM. That means if you can squat 100 pounds, that's going to be about 70 pounds for 25 reps. This is brutal. This is brutal, my friend. Brutal. So the 1x25, there used to be, I think Ellington Darden, possibly. I'm dating myself for those of you in the industry. You'll remember Ironman magazine. I believe Elliot Darden was the one who wrote about the combative 100s. And that was a wrestler, a very young wrestler at this point in my early teenage years. I read this article about the combative 100s. And that actually motivated me, not forced me, motivated me to start training higher rep schemes with extremely heavy weights, taking 12 rep sets and turning them into 20 and 30 rep sets or more over time. Very brutal training. Myself and the two Johns would just go after it and compete against each other and ourselves in a very motivating way, and pushed really big numbers as young kids. So the combative 100s, Darden called them. I found much more benefit, and I've gone to the over hundreds. I'm now slightly off topic here, so I'll wrap it up. The hundreds are good and all, but that really does stay more in the warm-up phase to really get that type of metabolic conditioning. Right around 25 is more than enough at about 70% of your 1RM. So if you have any questions, about this information, please leave them below. I appreciate you guys being here. And until next time, boom. Oh, check the links below, by the way. There's some good stuff down there. Boom.